All right, we are live, guys, and guess what? Today is the episode 10. We finally made it to number 10. I'm super excited. So I had to bring on someone super special. And on this TruYou Unfiltered podcast, as you know, I'm your host, Kyle Pursley, where I'm guiding you through life's challenges towards a holistic well-being. Today's guest is the one and only Pac-Man, Brandon Packer, a resilient entrepreneur who grew up surrounded by business owners, now runs 100K per month go high level SaaS agency while co-owning a news and autopilot. In this episode, Manifesting Your Dreams, the Power of Resilience and Simplicity, Brand shares how he overcame personal challenges, for example, divorce, single parenthood, his approach to balancing life and business, and why authenticity and simplicity are key to success. So we can go ahead and get into this. But yeah, this is Pac-Man, and now you can see who's been behind the scenes helping me out with a news and autopilot. So it's episode 10, Pac-Man. What's
What up?
happening, Captain?
Dude, congrats on episode 10, man. That's amazing.
I know it's been an interesting thing. Like I could tell like the very beginning of that episode from with Chris Newman. You know who Chris is, and like
Yeah.
it was just like I felt like an interrogation. But then these things get more natural, and then it's like we're getting actual data on what the TruYou Unfiltered podcast community likes as well. So it's all good. I kind of do this stuff for me more so as well, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what's been helping me out. I found out actually 99% of podcasts don't even reach episode 10. So like,
no way.
We're becoming the top 1%, Pac-Man. And it's all thanks to you.
Oh, whatever, man.
But yeah, man. So like, talk to us a little bit more about your background a little bit. I know you give me some information, and guys, like for those who are listening and watching, I've known this guy for like 5-6 years plus, maybe like even before Adeline was born, before I was married. Like he's seen it all.
So crazy.
Mm-hmm. But
It's
yeah,
been a
man,
while.
it's been a minute. So tell us, Mr. Pac-Man.
Yeah.
How did you get into freaking marketing?
I think you're the only person who calls me Pac-Man too. It's so funny. I got into marketing back in, well, even before college. I started with like network marketing. That was like my first go at trying business, like I think a lot of people try to do. And then came across, marketing with like retainers and all that stuff and like never looked back. But essentially got started with that. But, actual like advertising type stuff got started in college. One of my jobs was selling ad space in a local coupon magazine, business to business. So actually like knocking business to business to get them to put coupons in this magazine. And that was my first taste of marketing. And actually the part that resonated with me the most with that was actually sitting down with business owners and helping them come up with their strategy and their offers. I found that awesome. Like just doing fact finding with them and figuring out, what's their situation, what are they trying to accomplish, and then helping them, strategize around that was awesome. So I fell in love with it then, and eventually, graduated college, got my degree in communication with an emphasis in public relations, which also is a little markety. And it was around the time like the iPad had just come out, which is crazy. Like literally just came out. And one of my teachers or one of my classes was like social media management. Is the first time like people were diving into that. I actually did the first time I was introduced to Russell Brunson was in a college class about creating an online business, which I failed, by the way. Kind of funny, but our teacher played a clip of Russell Brunson where he was just talking about that whole machine of like, with ads and funnels of putting $1 in and getting $2 out. Blew my mind, and it resonated with me. And that was back before ClickFunnels and all that stuff was even invented. And probably not long after he was like selling his, how to build a potato gun videos. But anyway,
that's what I was thinking about. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Like his potato gun. Yeah. Video where y'all watch him. The potato gun. I'll just wait to hear.
Oh yeah,
what that sounds like. And like even you talking about like helping out these within like the ad space in magazines. Like right now, I'm at this D2T thing actually near obviously near neck of the woods right now, and
yeah,
it's crazy. The door to door side selling ad space like that is, it's crazy, man. And then being able to for you to rediscovery, because I know you and I've had like different conversations even about like how when you're talking to your clients, it's like you'll talk about their overall strategy. That's like the overall thing that you were passionate about. So we had that conversation recently, and I was just surprised. I was like just surprised even to hear you say that just now, because it's like kind of like a rekindling or a reminder almost.
It is. Oh yeah, totally, man. It's always resonated with me because the way I view marketing is uh man, I lost my train of thought, but
It's all
oh
good.
yeah, the what drew me to marketing, because I'm very mission oriented. Like I have to believe in what I'm doing, and you know I strive for impact. You know I have to make a difference. Is kind of like I have to do things that like matter. You know if that makes sense. Or else I can't do it. That's why like you know regular jobs I call them like shoot me in the face, man. Like rather than sit down at a desk and do that kind of thing, you know, I'd rather punch myself in the face than have like a regular job. And man, I don't know where I was going with that, but
I
anyway,
don't even think I would know how to function, by the way. Like right now, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, if I went to like any other job right now and I'm walking into like an office, there's just something weird, nasty in your stomach.
it's weird.
It's a weird, nasty feeling. I
It's
don't.
weird.
That's the best way to explain it. Yeah, like at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's super weird. I remember what I was saying. The whole why I got in a, or the thing that resonates with me about marketing is the way I always viewed it when I finally understood, like, oh man, you can like help generate leads for local businesses and everything. I always saw it as, you know, people aren't just doing business just for business or to make money. They're doing it for other reasons. Like they want to actually, at least like watching my dad do this, like most entrepreneurs are doing the entrepreneurial thing because they want freedom, they want money, they want time with their family, you know, they want that kind of stuff. And I always saw it as a means to help a business owner not stress out about where their next customer is going to come from and be able to give them peace of mind with that. And, you know, hopefully create some more revenue. And, you know, I always looked at it as like, hey, I'm helping them pay for their kids' sports, you know, or go on vacations with their family. That was always, you know, something that resonated with me about marketing. Um, so yeah, I love marketing, dude. I've been doing it since college, but I got a little derailed because after college I started a career in sales and did sales for insurance for a couple years and did well
Yeah.
there. Learned a lot of sales from my trainer there, who was excellent, and eventually got into solar and then got into recruiting truck drivers, which I don't recommend, guys. That was a freaking nightmare. Which led to me starting a trucking company, actually, which went out of business. And terrible, guys, terrible. I highly don't recommend that. But I saw an ad from the good old Dan Henry about, you know, how to launch an ads agency and how you can
Well,
like work
Dan
from
Henry,
home.
man, his stuff is
Yeah,
so funny. He's a
dude.
funny
And
dude.
yeah, it was back when he just wore like his Batman t-shirts and like didn't give a crap. And like, but it resonated with me because I was like, dude, this kid gets to like do whatever he wants. I want to learn that. And so I bought his course. I literally did nothing with it. I didn't even click the email, like the welcome email, for like a year. I waited a year of continuing in my situation until I got so tired of where I was. Because, dude, at that point, it was a low point. I was broke. I was divorced. I was a single parent, you know, with my kids full time, and you know, trying to figure this out, bringing my kids to daycare and all that stuff. And I didn't want to do that. And I want, there's nothing wrong with daycare. Like there's a time and a place for it. But for me personally, I wanted to raise my kids. I wanted to be the one teaching them, you know, my philosophies and all that stuff. Um, and that's what finally made me be like, you know what, I need to crack that course open and I need to figure this out because I want to work from home so I can be there for my kids. I can go to their, you know, school events. That was like the big switch for me. And it was kind of ironic because, you know, the day I decided to do it, because it was so bad, I was like, you know what, I don't even care what he says. If he tells me to jump, I'll jump. But whatever he tells me to do, I'm going to do it. And I did. And that first month, I had made more than I had like the whole previous like 2 years, I think,
And
you
you were
know, on a
like,
monthly
my
basis.
life just changed.
Yeah.
Like my
And
life is different now. This is real. This is real now.
very real. And the crazy part about it too was I start getting traction with my marketing agency, and then I get distracted by, you know, because it was around that time that somebody I'd recruited truck drivers for had reached out, be like, "Hey, Brandon, remember me? Yeah." hey, we should start a trucking company. It's a short version. But ultimately my gut told me no. My gut told me like, if it goes well, hit me up in a couple months and, maybe. But then like 10 minutes later, I was like, that sounds too good. So I ended up like jumping on that bandwagon and got derailed from my agency, which was so dumb because that year was, that was 2019, the worst experience with that. And, trucking company went out of business. We started in like January of 2019, went out of business November of 2019. And I saw the writing on the wall. So I started picking up my marketing again and, started doing that full time and never looked back. I've been doing marketing ever since. So that was the end of 2019. When I dove back into it, full time and have just never looked back, man. That's awesome. Marketing's great.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. The very first sale I made with digital marketing was I was at the Arnold Classic. I was competing
no way.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah. And
I didn't know they did jiu-jitsu at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. They have like fencing and everything, like stuff like that.
I did not know that.
Yes. It's not
I
just
thought it was
like,
literally just bodybuilding.
right. And that's why I was so blown away by it, man. And like Arnold will come in there and check it all the different sports out. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it was like specifically, it was along the lines of helping someone brand their social media. That's what it was. And it was for $500. For $500, dude. The guy lived in California and we just worked together on it and it was awesome.
$500 one time or $500 a month?
$500 one time, dude. I was just stoked though. I was working part-time in Best Buy and trying to afford my gym membership.
Gotcha.
That's like kind of where that comes from a little bit too. But we kind of skipped over just a few things too, man. It's like you're wanting to take ownership of your child's education. I want to say like that's like also something that's like the best thing you can do for society, man. Anyways, I mean, Courtney and I are working into it. We're looking like she went to part-time work now and she's growing into Xander also in the house as well. But like all her Christmas presents and all that, and we just got done with the holiday season. It's like a lot of it was built towards homeschooling.
Oh, that's cool.
And so like we want to eventually take them out of like the private schools and all that stuff too, just to kind of show them life.
We've toyed with that.
Yeah.
We've toyed with that idea.
So like before you and Amy like got together.
My wife?
Right, yeah. Amy, right? I forgot.
Raya.
Amy.
Raya.
What am I thinking? Oh my God.
Oh, Emmy, you're thinking of my daughter.
Emmy, that's okay. Yep. Thank you.
Oh,
okay.
all good.
I was thinking I was going crazy for a second.
Raya, my super awesome hot wife. I love her to bits and pieces.
Yeah. Clear it up on the record.
For the record.
But like dealing with by yourself, man. 2 kids.
Oh yeah, 7 years, dude. So yeah, 7 years. January of 17, up until a year and a half ago. Got remarried a year and a half ago to the woman of my dreams. Most talented, like gifted person I've ever met. I'm lucky, dude. I'm a lucky son of a gun.
Bro, I see you crushing in insurance sales, trying to figure it out to make sure like your kids stay home.
Well, dude, it was the insurance was before that. Like,
it's like a whole thing.
What was that?
Well, I was just saying, like in between just sales and marketing and like that whole because like again, there's a transition there, and I just remember like us working together, and it's like you're like, dude, cannot do sales calls right now. I'm gonna focus on the marketing and the automation stuff because it is what it is until.
Oh, because of the constant interruption from the kids. That's what it was. Yeah, yes. Like because before that I was doing all the sales for the marketing side of things, and my kids are just at that age where like they used to respect like, oh, dad's on a call, like, we'll stay quiet or whatever. And then for some reason a switch went off and they just stopped giving a crap. And they just like started barging in and needing this, needing that.
Every time you had a call, once the call happens, like the kids hit you up.
Oh yeah.
It's funny to me because I bring that up too, because like, again, like I'm a newer dad at this point. Like I have 2 kids that are under 5.
Yeah.
Right now. And it's like, oh my gosh, if I had to watch them. No.
Yeah, you have to watch them. You have to work. You have to take them to school, pick them up from school. You have to, at the time, my youngest was 4 months old. So changing diapers and feeding him in the middle of the night. And then, and then when stuff happens at school in the middle of the day, you have to drop everything, go to school, and like whatever it is, maybe they got in a fight, or
Bro,
maybe.
so what was keeping you grounded during all that time as a single parent, single dad, doing his thing to make sure his kids are good, but also how's Pac-Man? How's Pac-Man being good or getting himself together?
That's a good question. Grounded is probably not the right word. I think it's surviving.
Right on.
Right
on.
I didn't realize how hard it was and what I was doing until I got remarried and didn't have to do it by myself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think you just kind of switch into like something I would think of it, in the beginning. It was very like I was very dysfunctional, dude. Like it took me like a year and a half to like kind of start getting back to normal as far as how I felt, because I didn't feel like myself. That whole situation was really hard. And I wanted to be a good example to my kids because, dude, there were times I remember a very pivotal moment was I remember I was walking to the front office of our apartment complex to get some mail because, packages showed up at the front desk. So I remember walking to go get a package. And while I was walking, like I was at the point where I was literally thinking, I'm like, dude, my parents are in California. I was like, I might just move back home and like with my parents and check out for like 4 or 5 months because it was so hard, and I wanted to quit. That was never going to happen, but those thoughts were like going through my mind of legitimately like, dude, maybe I just need to move home and just like check out. And I remember the very next thought was like, no, like I can't do that. Like I didn't want my kids to see that. I wanted them to see something I try really hard to instill in my kids is personal responsibility and accountability. And like, if it's to be, it's up to me. And that you just don't quit. Like when things get hard, you just have to push through it. And see, I remember having that thought of just like, no, like I can't do that. Like I can't demonstrate that to my kids. Not, and I'm very careful with that because I also want them to understand that like, dude, it's okay to have emotions and feelings and feel things and experience things and get upset and all that stuff, as long as you handle your crap and pick yourself up and take responsibility and, keep plowing forward. But it was a really pivotal time because, those types of things, that's what was going through my mind sometimes during that time. But for the most part, it was straight up survival mode, man. Like absolute survival mode. My mom helped a ton too. Like she helped out so much during that first year and a half. Like she's a straight up angel, man.
Yes.
And I don't know how I would have done it without her, which, my wife, she was a single mom too for 3 years, and she did it, but she had, she had her neighbors and stuff. So like you just have to have a support system somehow. And for me, it was my mom and also really good neighbors. Like it was almost like an integrated babysitting system. Like I'd watch their kids, they'd watch mine. And also there were some other people who were recently divorced there as well. And so just having like that validation, it was a village. It takes a village to raise a kid, dude. Holy crap, dude. 100%. Getting through that time, I owe a lot to those people, my neighbors, my family, very supportive, but at the end of the day, like it was me and them, and you just do it. You're just in survival mode. And like I said, when I got married again and I didn't have to do it by myself, and it's an awesome marriage, I look back, I'm like, how the heck did I do that, man? And you just do it because the alternative is not doing it, which is not an option.
Yes.
Like people, like I'd have
sense
people.
Of why just changes. Like I'm right. Like I'm out here in Utah today. I was literally on the phone with you earlier today, and I said, "This is so weird that it's like I don't have to wait on my wife or my kids right now." I'm like, "Geez, this is what life used to be like."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Interesting, but like but it's also taking you to like a next level of what what you are really, really made of.
Yeah, and I think what was I gonna say? Oh, like I would have some people say like men would be like, man, I don't know how you do it. Like I could never do that. I'm like, what do you mean you could never do that? Like, dude, they're my children. Like they're my
That's just
kids. Like,
normal.
what are you talking about? Yeah, like
Hmm.
of like I don't know how people can quit on their kids like that because that kind of stuff happens, man. Like I didn't know how this podcast was going to go, but talking about this stuff, like it's really important because um dude, I see these people that and you hear about these people that leave their family, like men that just like walk out of their kids' lives or
Yeah.
women that do the same thing. And it just like I can't even fathom doing that. Like so yeah, anyway, quitting was never an option. Like
Well, it's
I
crazy you
had to
said
figure it
that.
out for my kids,
That's
man.
literally what happened to like my wife, like her
No
real
way.
dad, dude. I won't go in too deep, but I mean to keep it, she'll tell you this. It's like lots of letters, lots of you know Christmases where he wasn't like there, and it's like dad just left her, and like that also that impacts the kids when they grow up. They're gonna have different issues, that come with that, like abandonment issues, or
Yeah.
um, I mean, heck, I mean they're learning. Kids are learning fast, and the core beliefs that they learn in the very beginning. That's like it's like up to us really to break those generational curses, I guess you could see. Because I don't know if you've ever
Yes.
done this, but like around again, we just got done with the holidays, and there would be moments and times where I had so much frustration come out because of how many undealt with things came because of what or came about when family was around. It shows you all these things. For me, that's like my experience with it. But like leaving a family member, or even having your like kids, like and not even interacting or trying to get into them, I think really, 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 really can throw them off or individual off in the long term. So yeah, man, definitely very, very important.
Yeah. You touched on earlier about like, balancing, work and life and, family and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
I think it's always a challenge. Like there are days where I literally ask myself like, dude, like I'm like, or not ask myself, but like, I just think to myself like, dude, I'm not being a good dad. Like I'm not like,
Oh, do you
cause
feel
there,
the guilt? The little guilt comes
yeah,
in?
cause dude, there are
Yeah.
times where, I worked hard to make this happen, working from home and everything. And there are times where like, I just work so like there obviously we're entrepreneurs. Like there are times where you work longer than you would at a job, so you don't have to go to that
Hmm.
job. And there's times where I literally will sit back and be like, man, like what am I doing? Like I'm doing this so I can spend more time with them, but I'm spending more time away from them. So
Hmm.
I feel like it's a up and a down type of roller coaster. They call it the entrepreneur roller coaster for several reasons, and I think that's one of them. From the familial side of things, is just trying to find that balance of, spending time with your kids. So like a goal that I've wanted to track for a bit and just haven't because I'm a procrastinator and I have ADD, makes it really hard. But it's like I want to track as a KPI for my life, like how much time do I spend with my kids per day type of thing. And like
Yeah.
if that number goes up, great. If it's going down, it's like, oh man. So yeah, because I definitely, they grow up fast, dude. Like our oldest is 13. And that's my wife's kid. So my wife has 3 kids, and I have 3 kids, and we got married. So how many kids does that mean we have, Kyle?
That means 6.
6. We got
That's freaking
6.
crazy, man.
It's
Oh
so
my God.
and it's incredible. And it's basically like 3 sets of twins, guys, because they're all literally around the same age. So 3 sets of twins practically. So the oldest is 13. Uh, you know, my boy is 12, almost 13. He'll be 13 in May. And so we almost have 2 teenagers. My youngest is just turned 9, and it goes by so fast. Like what everybody, like what all the parents say is like, dude, cherish it now because it comes and goes. It comes and goes. Like it comes and it goes, which is just so yeah. I try to I've been like I've been working hard to try to spend, you know, more focused time with them. And don't get me wrong, like I do think I'm a great dad. Like I feel like I've done a good job. But there are just those times where you do doubt yourself, and I think that's normal. There, an audiobook or it was a podcast I was listening to with Patrick Bet David,
Yeah.
and who's awesome. But I love that guy's voice. But he was mentioning how, you know, um, or maybe it was Boudros Killian. It might have been him. But one of them was saying that being a good parent, like when you're being a good parent, sometimes it feels like you're not, because you want to give that, you want them to be happy all the time. You want to, you know, give them stuff, but you also, you have to be a parent. You have to put your foot down. You have to make them unhappy. You have to,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
discipline and all that stuff.
Yes.
But it resonated with me when he's like, dude, sometimes being a good parent, you feel like a bad parent, you
Yes.
know? And I was like, dang son, like that's
Yeah.
accurate.
Well, like going back to like, there's that point. I think this is a great time to talk about like the level of self-development people do or don't do. Because like you were talking again, like going back to like people leaving, but at the same time of what you just said, having to work, even when you are here in the moment doing the thing, it's like being an entrepreneur is a self-development journey at the same time. I mean, it should be really for everyone, whether they're not or are. It's just social media has made so entrepreneurship just like very attractive, you know, but and like almost sometimes on a pedestal, like even it's like Jeff Bezos owns 19% of Amazon or something like that. It's like not about how much you own, it's really about, you know, the bigger picture. And so like being that CEO or whatever, that self-development that goes into that is the same amount of self-development, if not less than how much self-development you have to go through as being or becoming a dad. Like, and all the emotional intelligence that goes with that, like the charge clearing stuff I talked to you about.
Oh, I'm going to
Like,
start doing that. I have a
dude,
story to tell you
great.
after the podcast that, maybe during, but yeah, dude, a
Yeah.
conversation with my wife yesterday about that. But anyway, keep going. I'm listening.
No, no. I mean, I'm happy for that because what I'm finding out too is a lot of parents, or not parents, well, people that are married, like they do that. They actually do it together. Um, McGuire on I knew he's an autopilot team. Like she's been doing it with her husband. She's a stay-at-home mom, and he's like in the tech world somewhere. I forgot exactly, but anyways, yeah, like she showed it to him. And it's been really a good thing for them too as well. They have a baby, so I could totally see that being a shock.
That's one thing I've really loved that you've done is introduce those types of concepts to our team, including myself. And of course, myself being a procrastinator, I haven't done it
Yeah, I
yet,
know.
but
Cool.
I it's something that I respect about that, because you're injecting a culture of personal development into the company, which I think is huge. One of my favorite mentors of all time, Jim Rohn, he's dead now, but Jim Rohn's
Oh, Jim
incredible.
Rohn.
Yeah, he would always say, your income rarely exceeds your level of personal development. And he would say, work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because by doing that stuff, like John Maxwell calls it the law of the lid. You know, an organization only grows to the, you know, capacity of their leader. So like you have to be developing yourself, and you have to grow. MLM, network marketing, actually, I got introduced slightly before that to how to win friends and influence people. I think I was 18 or 19 when I got
Okay.
introduced to that,
Yes.
because one of the girls I was dating at the time, her dad, one of the most incredible people on the planet. And I remember asking one of his relatives, like, dude, he's incredible. Like, what is, they're like, oh, he reads books like How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm like, read, like, what? When, what?
What?
And yeah, so that was the first time I'd even heard about personal development, and then got into MLM, which, you know, they always say is like a personal development plan with a compensation plan attached. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
that's how I found out about Jim Rohn too, by the way.
same.
It was Herbalife. Herbalife was it, and then like they got into goal setting, and he has a really good workshop for goal setting. It's actually it's a part of the Create Your Future tool.
That's so
When I was
cool.
learning it, like a part of the lesson for me to learn it was Jim Rohn speaking about goals and what types of things you do. Like you can create a list of goals, and list out what they are. Well, wait, sorry. Back step, one step behind this is that you want to list 5 things you've already accomplished. So it's evidence and data that you can do shit. You can figure it out, you know? And so like from there, it gives you confidence to create more goals. And off this list, and you can keep going for like 30 minutes and just setting goals. And it's very simple. It's literally what you want to accomplish and in what time frame. And you'll be very surprised of how either short-term or long-term thinker you are by how many you've actually done. And that's like the Jim Rohn thing. Not to go into all that, but like for people who are like listening to, it's like, and while we're talking about this, is like, yeah, you can take the time and like list out like 20 goals, and you have like how many, and put a year of how much time you're going to give yourself to accomplish it. And let's just say that it helped me out too, Brandon, with like, I knew he's an autopilot, like trying to hit XYZ goals and
Well,
all
dude,
that stuff. Like,
you're a different
it's
person
like,
than you
dude,
were even a year ago.
yeah, I'm glad. I'm freaking glad. Some kids, man, some kids. I needed some.
Oh, that makes a difference too.
I need some dad wisdom from you first. That's what it was. But yeah, dude. So like, something that I really like what you've been doing too with News and Autopilot, and honestly, just working in general, has been taking things away and simplifying. Like simplicity, and also really taking care of clients that come in. You're able to figure out if they're going to be a really good client and go right in and say like, hey, this is going to take work. Like I think like the product side of things and simplicity, but also again,
Being blunt,
like,
dude.
yes, dude.
Like managing
Yes.
expectations.
Oh my God, how
One,
many conversations have we had about this? Like,
like a
guys, y'all in
million,
for it now.
like a
Okay.
million.
And you
Uh,
can give us some examples. So give us an example, and like this will help, even future customers or people looking to get marketing services. It's like it's on a magic pill.
dude, before we dive into that,
Yeah.
a thought I've been having about the parenting stuff and personal development.
Yes.
Um, it's been kind of echoing in my brain
Do
is
it.
something that blows my mind, and I'm guilty of it 100%. Is usually people in the entrepreneurial space at a high level are into personal development, and when it comes to being a parent stuff, it shocks me how many books people don't read on being a parent, and how many things, like, they don't educate themselves on being a parent, but they'll educate themselves on making $1 million. They'll educate themselves on productivity and all this stuff. When it comes to being a good parent, they don't do that. And that's something I'm working on, because I love reading all these business books, so taking time away from it's like, crap. Um, so yeah, it just an observation I made about myself, and a lot of people around me is just actually taking the time to become a better parent, like leveling up our parent skills, so we can do what you said of like breaking some of those cycles from our childhood. Like, I had good parents, but they dropped the ball in a lot of ways. But they also, I owe I owe so much to them. Like, they're fantastic people, but we always learn from our parents, which is how it should be. Like, improve upon the past and all that stuff. But anyway, that's just a thought I had, is just making sure we're skilling up in more than just business, because a rising tide raises all ships. And all these guys like Jim Rohn, they always say, like, dude, you don't have to focus on a million things. Just focus on like one habit. If you get better at one thing, no matter what it is, it could be working out, it could be being more patient with your kids, it could be making more sales calls, whatever. If you level up one thing, it levels up everything, because it builds your confidence. It kind of tying into your goal thing of building that momentum. But anyway, just a food for thought on the parenting side. But yeah, dude, the whole getting back to simplicity and being blunt with
Yes. Yes, for sure.
customers. Unless you had any thoughts on that last one. If not, we can keep going.
No,
But I'm
no.
not
I mean,
sure.
I think that pretty much was it though. I mean, I think people can read multiple books on multiple different subjects, and there will always be something you could get better at. That's kind of that's what happens when you're like working on something. We only have like two eyes, right? And there's just like story about like a samurai, and how he's like the best samurai to study in the world. He's taking applications, and he has about one comes up to him and asks him, hey, like how long would it take me if I worked day and night he's kind of trying to prove himself to him, show him he's worth it, And he was like, if I worked day and night, how long would it take me? He said 10 years. He's like, well, what if I worked harder than anybody else and did it? And the guy said 20 years. And the reason why, he was like, what? Why? If I'm working harder, like what? He said, well, it's because you have one eye that's fixed on the other. And, basically at the end of the day, he only has one eye left to seek out other opportunities. And
because he's so focused.
yeah, so he's missing out on his potential, missing out on potential. I think that's what I'm looking for there. And so
That
then
makes
it's the
sense.
same thing. It's like with business, and there'll be moments where I'm super focused on jujitsu or mixed martial arts, or I knew he's an autopilot or scale, or just trying to be there for my family, like
Yeah.
there'll be more, like you said, it's like the roller coasters of entrepreneurship, but also roller coasters for people. It's like, you want to make more money, but like, what type of skills have you done to skill up to do that, make that money making skill? You don't
People
have
think
any
you can.
time. Like, what do you do? Have you done a time audit on yourself? Like that took me some time to crack, and I'm happy I'm passing it to you.
Yeah, me too, man. That
Because like, I'll say this one last thing. Like, we had a client support message today even, and it's like you'll get clients that just freak out all the time. And it's like, guys, like, you have to, like, what type of self-development did you do to like get you in such a reactive state? Like, did you clear your charge? What's gonna go on through that? And so, yeah, those are my thoughts through all of it. Like, that's like what sparked from you saying like reading a book about finances, but maybe not reading a book about parenting.
yeah,
The whole cluster.
leveling up in one area instead of all the ones that matter. Yeah,
Because you
dude,
have
like,
one eye left. Because you can't see it.
which is easy to do, like, especially in the whole entrepreneur world of working so much. Like, sometimes you have to come up for air, like, which I don't do often. Like, I'll work so much sometimes that like it really like my body starts to shut down. It's like, holy crap, dude, like I gotta calm down.
I'm tired.
Dude, I'm tired too, man. I've been feeling funky.
Uh,
But dude, you hit on uh customer simplicity. Man, there's something else you hit on that made me think of something that I can't remember. It'll probably come to me. Shoot. Anyway.
no worries, man. I think I like your perspective on talking about when you're buying specifically lead generation services, or actually, no, that's perfect. We'll just start there because you have a lot of intricate things that go into not just it's not just getting leads.
Yeah.
It's way more complex than that, and you have to put in the work to do it. And if you're not managing your conversations and wonder why you're not making money, well, that's where it starts, right? It all takes work. And
Yeah.
that's what, yeah. So go into that a little bit, man. So like, whether you're helping a local business reactivate their past customers, or it could be a whole intricate system on evergreen webinars and converting to booked appointments to scaling to, $3 million a year. Like, it all requires work. What's your take on all that stuff with customers looking for services like that?
I feel like a lot of those customers are allergic to work.
Okay.
I it so I've been in sales pretty much my whole career, because in marketing you're still selling and everything. And I learned what it took to be, successful at something like that. It takes a lot of work. You have to build momentum. And if like when you stop building momentum, when momentum stops, you're literally stopping, you're starting back at zero. You have to build all that up again. And building momentum, I think business owners, no matter what niche they're in, I think they grossly underestimate how much work it takes to create momentum. And they all want what's on the other side of momentum. They all want like a business that runs itself. They all want to make more money. They all want to have, whatever it is they're going after, but they, I don't think they fully understand what it takes to get there, because and the reason I believe that is because hearing some of the things that comes out of a business owner's mouth almost shocks me. It's is it Edison that said luck is disguised as like, or dressed in overalls or something like that and looks like work, something like that. But
No, I've not heard that, but I like where that's going. Keep going.
It's either Edison or one of the old presidents, but they're, again, allergic to work, man. Like if again, going back to Jim Rohn, something that he would say a lot too is what you lack, or you can make up in numbers what you lack in skill. And what he meant by that is like hard work can really like it beats talent all day long. And then, as you get better, you can skill up, get better and all that stuff. But the main principle behind it is you just have to work, man. You have to work hard. And it takes a while to build up something that you can actually not have to put so much, I don't want to say effort, because it always requires effort, just becomes different as you grow.
Function? Like a
I don't
force
know.
to function. I mean, in the beginning, like, when you're like deciding different opportunities, you're like, it's time, money, force of function. And I think automation of some sort. I can't. Douglas James actually was the one who trained us on that some time ago.
Got it. Yeah, no, I don't know. I know dang, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, good. The loop will close later, I'm sure.
What were we talking about a moment ago?
Well, clients need to understand how much it's going to take to scale their production.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
So it like it takes a lot of work to get there, and but eventually you do get to a point where if you work hard enough, you can. And I believe in working smart too. So anyone's thinking like, yeah, you got to work smart, not hard. It's like, dude, you got to freaking work your face off in the beginning. Anyone telling you otherwise is lying to you, man. Like straight up lying to you. Lying. Okay. It requires effort, it requires work, energy, mental energy, spiritual energy. It's just freaking exhausting, dude. And especially when you're dealing with people. And I love people. Like I want to make an impact. I want to help, businesses and business owners. I just want to, people matter, but people also drive you freaking crazy, because they're fickle and they're weird, man. Like, it's like somebody who opts into an ad to buy a home, but they're literally like poor and living on the street. Like, I want to get like a, $300,000 home. It's like, how do you even have a cell phone? So anyway, stuff like that. But but when you,
how do you even have a cell phone? Oh man.
Dude, those are true stories, guys. Our marketing, our SaaS company focuses on helping loan officers and real estate agents generate leads on their own. So they, but anyway, so we hear these stories all the time, but the point I was getting at is they want this dream outcome, but they grossly underestimate how much energy, time, and money and effort it takes to get there. But it does happen if you do it long enough. Like, I'll give you an example. In our SaaS company, me and my business partner went from handling like 20 to 30 support tickets a day by ourselves to like, I touch maybe 3 to 4 support tickets per week now that are just escalated to me because we now have a team that handles all the support and the customer onboarding. Like, I haven't onboarded a customer in that company for like a year and a half. And it's awesome. But the other thing too that business owners make the mistake of is they think once they get there that all of a sudden it's butterflies and rainbows, and it's cool, but you have to. Your challenges become different at that point, and the challenges just change. I still wouldn't trade it for anything because again, working from home, working for yourself, freedom. Like my main motivation is freedom. Like that is one of my core guiding principles is freedom in every way. Freedom from, debt and people. I want to owe nobody anything and do whatever the heck I want whenever,
Yes.
But even when you get to that point where, you have a team, you have all this stuff, you've grown, a company, you have employees, whatever the case is, you still have to, at that point, figure out how to manage the team and structure that. Because as you grow, you hit these, you grow until some things break, because what worked when you were down here doesn't work when you're up here. So things break, you have to figure that crap out, which requires work, stress, energy, time, money. And then you figure that out and you grow again, but then you hit another one of those things where everything breaks and you have to figure it out. And it's just kind of like so it's the entrepreneur roller coaster. And when you're becoming an entrepreneur, and you're owning a business, you are signing up to be a glorified problem solver is what you are. You're always solving problems, which is why entrepreneurs make the money they do, because they're willing to solve those problems. I mean, I don't want to get political, but like people that like don't like capitalism, I'm like, dude, you guys are freaking nuts, man. I can't stand people that want something for nothing, dude. And that goes for business owners. So many of them want something for nothing. It's like, dude, who do you think you are, man?
I see the point
come on.
I see the point you're trying to like, cross here. It's unrealistic expectations.
100%.
That's the main thing. It's like, and like, I like what you said about like what used to work here does not work when you get up there. Again, I'm reading this book, Principles, by Ray
Dalio or whatever.
Dalio, yeah. So $14 billion hedge fund. He talked about like the different things they had to work through as they got to that point, from just 2 employees to over 1,500 employees. He said, each stage, I don't think it wasn't necessarily each one was harder than the other. It all sucked. Like you still had to like go through these things. There was a lot of cool principles he talked about, but it was through his life, and I can see exactly what he is saying, and then it's cool to even hear it from you. Primarily because like we found out what happened when we sell too many clients too soon, and there's a lot of other things that go into that, like the leadership, the accountability, the systems. It's like I always crack up now because we used to be one of them. It's like a lot of marketing agencies have no problem getting their front end to get clients
A lot of what?
taken care of.
A lot of what?
A lot of marketing companies
Gotcha.
will like that's what I see is like, because they're so focused on getting their first client, getting those first results, which I can totally get. It's natural. It's going to happen that way, but it's like, what about retention and product and customer relationships?
Customer relationships, dude. That one's huge because if you care about your customers, you have hard conversations with them. Like you're willing to have those hard conversations. We don't let our customers get away with BS. We do not tolerate BS in our company. And it's because BS is how people stay broke. It's how people do not achieve their goals. They're just bogged down by all this BS and excuses, and we don't tolerate that. So like, and we're not afraid to have these conversations, and we don't do it in a condescending way or anything like that, because we actually care. And so when somebody brings up a question or a concern that is laced with excuses or negativity, we let them know, like, guys, here's how it is. If other people are telling you otherwise, like, it's BS. Like, so, like, for example, our system texts the leads, it calls the leads. We have an AI bot, we have all that stuff, but we also have a part of our system where our customers call their leads. And they think because we have all this technology and everything that all of a sudden they magically don't need to call their leads. And what's funny too is the customers that are the most successful with us were calling their leads and had these follow-up habits before they became customers with us. The customers that did the best already had the success mentality and the skills.
Yes,
and
for sure.
Yeah, like because they've done the development, they've put in the work, they've skilled up their knowledge and their skill set. But yeah, like we have those tough conversations because we want our customers to get better. We want them to get good results. And when you're giving them everything they need to succeed, because it's a pattern I've noticed, when we give them everything they need to succeed, it's all the same stuff, but some are crushing it and some are not. And I've known this, but it became very clear to me in just the last 30 days because we do a lot of coaching calls for our customers, so we hear a lot of stuff, and I've identified it definitively that like we've given everything, and the difference at that point, because there's only so many levers you can pull. One of those levers is your skills and your knowledge, like your domain knowledge of your industry, products, that type of stuff. You have to get better at your job. And I think especially when you're in like a high commission type of thing, like whether you're selling annuities or homes, and you can make those fat commissions, you can get away with only closing, a couple deals a month. You get comfortable. And I think that's a problem because
sales comfortability, that is a universal problem, brother. It is this amount of self-development they've gone through, and you can easily pick out those people that have the savviness and awareness. Oh my God, freaking awareness, common sense. Oh my God, like I'm going to go ahead and go to this again. Create your future. That has to get stupid clear so they know exactly what's going on. And then while they're trying to accomplish their future, they need to have more clarity on how they think, and they have to clear those mental charges. And then the next thing you know, it's like they're scrolling on their phone. They have no idea. They complain about they're working all the time, but or not getting stuff done or not closing any deals. I think that's like what I'm getting at. It's not closing any deals. You're not getting the result they're looking for. Well, if you look on your screen time on your phone, I wonder how much time has gone by of you just scrolling and not on your app calling your leads. And it's like, okay, bro, like I can give you all the conversations of people to talk to in the world, but like if you're not going to talk back to them, you're just hand me your money and I'll take your ad spend and I will put it in my own ads. Like I will find someone who will talk to their leads. And they'll be grateful for it. And that's like the trick, right? Like I think just universally, it's like if you have a way to, if you have a great sales process, then a marketing person is going to be grateful to have you as a client.
Yes. Dude, no, that's huge. The best clients are people who already know how to succeed. They're already crushing it. We're just putting fuel on the fire. Those are the best customers because they understand what it takes to grow their business, to invest in it, to succeed. So when you feed leads to them, they're like, oh, I already know what to do with them. Just send the leads my way. I'm good. Because that's how I became with sales. Like if like I went into a solar company and they were recruiting me, and they were like, oh yeah, we got like 2,000 leads, sitting here, and I was like, heck yeah, dude, give me those leads. Like I will set appointments and I will close them. And then you have
I love it.
Then you have the other people that you can hand them 10,000 leads and they'll freaking complain. And you're like, dude, you're either good at your job or you're not. If you're a salesperson, you're good at your job. It doesn't matter what the lead quality is or any of that crap. You will call through those leads, get appointments, and close deals.
Yes.
So, and anyway, yeah. So, business owners need to just have proper expectations, man. Put in the work. And it's worth it. It's so worth it.
I will say though, on our end, because like I'll just play devil's advocate and kind of hold up that mirror as well. It's like if you can provide them some type of, there's the basic training of the tools, and like I like what we do is like having a daily method of operation, keeping it simple, stupid, as Todd would say, right?
Yeah.
But also having, you always talk to our sales team as well about time blocking everything on their calendar, and it's like that's something that they're not the best at unless it's appointments, I find, because they don't like admin work. I think that's like the biggest thing. So I think if you're a top,
I don't think anybody does, dude. Maybe an accountant likes admin work.
I have an interesting thing I'll tell you for this. Maybe it'll be good for this episode. Here in a sec, actually. but I think everyone should have some type of admin assistant, just delegate to and do. But what I will say before I forget, I'm anxious to get your thoughts on this. Um, Visionary like CEOs and leaders. I was talking about this to the people I'm with today actually, and it was about how a CEO can clash a lot with someone like an engineer. So if you're creating the automations, if you're building the thing, the entrepreneur that is a visionary is going to get excited with the ideas and want things to get done fast, super fast, or they won't get too much into the weeds. They'll just delegate it to that person. But communicating that can be very challenging for that person. So that person sees above the trees and above the trees only, where the engineer is in the trees building the tree. And unfortunately, um, like 30% of their projects, which is a lot, could be more, won't even see the light of day to bring together. I think of Webinar Sync Pro, by the way. It was just too much at the time. We just decided to do away with it, but maybe if we spent more time on it, we could have fixed it a little bit further, for example. But at the same time, everyone who doesn't necessarily like the admin work, I guess you could say, I think would be that visionary more so than the person who's engineering it. Because all the details matter to them more so, and what the businesses and companies need is that person who can see both the above the trees and the tree itself to effectively bridge that gap. And I think that's what marketing companies overall need to do for their clients who do lead generation. Like if the marketing company is leads, I think that is what bridges the gap.
What do you mean?
For that? Because we're so again, devil's advocate, like the training and communicating it properly.
Oh, absolutely matters.
And visionary sales, they're emotional people. Marketers, we like attention. It's like an in between. And then you have people who are not necessarily I've met I can't call them engineers neither. I just think people who are behind the computer more so than others just have more of a straightforward type of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like marketers are like the in between.
I can see that.
I'm just seeing notice just even in companies it needs that, and when someone hires an agency, it's not in their company, and that could be the missing link, which you've already brought up, which is the future pacing.
Yeah, and kind of going back to the clarity of communication because when we're talking about hey, a customer should already know what to do and all that stuff, it doesn't mean you don't help them, because so we have some core philosophies at our company. One of them is if a customer is confused by something once, it's like, okay, cool, we'll help them fix it. If we get another customer that's confused by it, so we go, okay, let's fix it. So a rule we have is if somebody doesn't understand it twice, it's something we need to go fix to make it more clear for the customer. And that could be how to use the software. It could be how to handle the leads. A common question we get is hey, so what kind of scripts, how do I, when I get a lead on the phone, what do I say to them? So that's the type of stuff that, you absolutely want to provide, because again, you have different levels of customer. You have the people that are already top producers that are crushing it, but you also want to help those people that are doing okay and good, and they want to get better. They're coachable and they want to get better. And the biggest key there is coachable, is because we have some people that sign up that, and again, these are loan officers, maybe they're closing 1 or 2 deals a month.
Right.
And, but they actually want to get better, and they want to, we had this older guy, man, he had to been in his 70s, I think. And wow. I thought for sure he was going to quit. I was like, this guy's going to, he came to we do 60 plus coaching calls a month. And he came, I was like, this guy, I don't know if he's going to last, but he showed up to every call, asked questions, got better at it, learned the system, learned the software. He overcame those challenges. So you want to provide the tools to do that in a way that makes sense to them. And that's something that we strive for in our company is how do we make things super clear and simple? Because again, it goes back to what can we take away?
What can we
how do we
take away?
simplify this, man?
Yes.
Simple's better.
Yes. Simple scales.
Simple scales. What is it? Complex fails. Something like that.
I always say clarity equals speed and simple skills because I'm always trying to take things away when I'm explaining things to the team. Like
And
that's where it comes from for me. But yeah, something like that.
yeah, no, that makes total sense. They in the shooting world they call it what is it, like slow is fast and fast is slow.
That's slow. I tell my daughter that. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
So like you're looking for people to potentially work with, man. What are the type of things that you solve mainly, and how can they find you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, I primarily work with Go High Level. It's a software, CRM, marketing automation, whatever. You have people like me who learn it and can implement it for businesses. And it goes back to kind of full circle to the beginning of my journey of, I love helping businesses solve their problems, or not their problems, but like identify their strategies and that kind of stuff. So a problem with High Level that I have noticed is that businesses will sign up to install it into their business, texting,
Right.
email, funnels, but either they don't fully adopt it and use it, or their team doesn't. It's very frustrating for them. And something that I've wanted to start doing, I haven't done it yet, but it's something I've toyed around with, is I want to help businesses not just, install High Level into their business, because it is the best marketing software on the planet. What I encourage everybody to sign up for it, but I want to help people not just, install in their business. They have to adopt it or it's not going to work, because a tool does nothing if it just sits there. Like a hammer doesn't hammer a nail by itself.
Yes.
You have
Right.
to learn how to
Right.
use it, and not just learn how to use it, you have to continually use it. So what I want to start doing is helping businesses, set up their automation, set up their software, but help them adopt it and help their team adopt it, because that's where you really leverage the power of the system. You can literally scale your business to millions of dollars if High Level is used correctly. And I know that because people have done it. They've changed nothing but installed our software into their business and generate millions of dollars. Okay. That is not pie in the sky. It's strategy. And it requires discipline and everything. But that's what I find people struggle the most with, is just getting their team to adopt a new software. And I want to help people do that. So, if there's a business out there that, wants to, have texting abilities in their business, email marketing, a live chat widget on their website, something as simple as that makes a huge impact on business. If you want to the biggest key is you can funnel all your leads into one place. That's it. Whether it's from your website, your Google listing, your ads, your social media bios, you can actually funnel all those leads and conversations to one place that your team can interact with. And I want to help businesses install something like that into their business and then help them adopt it. Actually, like, train their team on, hey, here's how to use it. Here's why. Not just how, but why. Here's why you want to use it. Here's how it's actually going to make your life easier. Here's how it's going to impact your business in a very real way. So, because again, I want to make impact. And, I'm not looking for people that just want to pay $100 a month and actually just do
Right.
nothing with it. I want somebody who's like willing to put in the work and energy and effort to do it, because the payoff is huge and it's awesome. So that's how I help people. I can help them, automate a lot of the parts of their business with it. Their texting, their emailing, a consolidated inbox where all of your leads go, all of your conversation. I'm talking every text, email, phone call, DM to your Facebook and Instagram business pages. All of that can go to one place, and you can actually communicate with your leads in one place instead of a million different softwares. And I can help your team adopt it and, make it an actual part of your business that has real impact. I'll give you an example. My dad, he's an electrician. He's been an electrician. I think he's had his own business for almost 50 years. We installed this software into his business, and we have a feature called missed call text back. So if a lead calls and nobody answers, it immediately texts them back, hey, this is so-and-so at such and such a company. I just saw I missed your call. How can I help you? Within 48 hours, he'd gotten like 4 or 5 requests for quotes for like garage doors and lighting install jobs, which are like $10,000 for a small one. Was that?
How old is he again?
He's 62,
Yeah.
63 maybe, 62 or 63.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't
So
know. One of
guys,
the two.
like if what I gather from Pac-Man, especially, I mean, as long as we worked with one another, like I would say he's able to create, like it just to have fun with the whole process. It's like he's able to create the place to have the party, and the marketing that you do for your business is going to bring those people to that party, and another thing is like he can create the vehicle, and while you're putting the gas, or I'll say the ad spend, or your marketing budget into this machine, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I mean, um, and it was an autopilot. I mean, I'm talking from fulfillment to HR to um, delivery, support, sales. Every part of your business can be used with this platform. And the guy's been behind all of it. I like the ads. We'll be probably doing some more episodes on, marketing and sales here in the very near future. Hence why I have Pac-Man on here. But really, like all the things that you all see me do, the back end of that process and the streamlining of that process from an SOP down to like doing the automations. I could go for days, but like this guy's behind all of it. And so definitely check him out on Instagram. I'm sure he'll have a link for you guys there as well. I feel like today we covered a lot of really, really cool concepts and a lot of real things that I feel like can take you overall to the next level. And that's why we have the TruYou Unfiltered podcast. So, Pac-Man, thank you for being truly you and unfiltered.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. I will definitely see you next time, and we'll definitely be posting this across all of our different platforms. So do not be afraid to subscribe. Thanks. And then don't leave.